Ladies and gentlemen, I'm putting my headphones in because there is a fucking leaf blower or a lawnmower outside. Literally started about 30 seconds ago. Does my head in. People in California like gardening too much. Well, that's wrong. They like paying Mexicans to do the gardening for them. They don't do it themselves. Ugh, this is California. That's for poor people. Snooty liberals love paying Mexicans to do the gardening. They don't fucking do it themselves though. I hope that it's working and it's filtering it out. Because I put a filter on my microphone using Logitech software that apparently cuts out all of the background noise. So I'm hoping you can't hear the incessant fucking humming in the background. If not, you're in the shit because that is quite loud. Certainly is to me. Mexicans and tunnels. Right, I've actually got some. I'm gonna have to get a shifty on today because I've got a lot of news to cover. There's a lot of mad shit being sent to me. The more my channel grows, the more people send me stuff. Yeah, you can't hear it, Manfly. That's great. It's working perfectly then because that's fucking noisy. Great news, yes, David Starkey started his own YouTube channel. I've been watching it this morning while I was working away. I was listening to him. Fantastic. He's so good at teaching. Like seriously, I sat there for an hour and listened to him talking about the monarchs, and I'm not even that interested in them. But he's so good at doing it and just doing it in a he's got a really nice voice. He does it at the perfect sort of speed and cadence where you actually understand what he's saying. He makes it simplistic. And also, he's funny. He's got a good sense of humour. So it keeps me entertained. And I demand to be entertained. That helps me learn. And every now and then he puts a quip in that makes me laugh. And it sort of keeps me really focused on what he's saying. Have you decided to keep the mark on your napper? That's tattooed. It is weird, that, isn't it? It's like friction burns seem to take a lot longer to heal than cuts. Like, if you get a cut, it just fucks off in a week. A friction burn from where you like scuff your head on something. It seems like it takes ages to heal up. Maybe that explains why Frenchmen have got friction burns on the cock 365 days a year. It never has a chance to heal between your wife and your 12 mistresses. You never had a chance to heal it up. It's quite as a fart in the bottom. Brilliant. Yeah, that's working perfectly then. So there's that dealt with. Stop distracting me. I want to talk about real news today. But yeah, David Starkey, brilliant. If you haven't followed his channel, go and have a look at it. It's just started. He's only got about 5,000 subs. Fantastic stuff. That's why I think that's why I don't like bastard Tim Pool. Tim Pool's got a massive footprint on YouTube. I never watch him. I sat and listened to him for about half an hour, and I was like, this bloke's boring. Like he doesn't make any jokes at all. He's just constant. He's very serious, and it just irritates me. There's something about him that annoys me. Also, I don't like people who wear hats all the time just because he's got male pattern baldness. It makes me think he's staggeringly vain, and that annoys me. I'm just a little bit vain, but I didn't stop doing streams when I fucked my face up. It's it's sort of annoying. So I don't really like him. There's not many I watch on YouTube now. I watch Rotten Politics, Paz, We Got a Problem, and now David Starkey. Oh yeah, and Blue Van Man, after he started put me on, Rotten Politics recommended him, and he swears a lot and gets very, very angry like me, so I like him. But yeah, Tim Pool, I think he's a bit of a dickhead. I'm not really into him. Got to love a gobby bootneck. Yeah, there's lots of them, isn't there, Mike? Aye. Cop out 26 kicks off when the bad hangers on have arrived. Your thoughts? Never been embarrassed about being bald. Why would you be, Blue Van Man? Doesn't it happen to about 3/4 of people? I don't see how you get embarrassed when it happens to everyone. Although, probably 3/4 of people get caught masturbating at some point by the mother or the grandparents, and that's still embarrassing. I like a shaved head. Kate. Well, there you go. There's at least one fan. There's a few people remarked in the comments. I have to say this, right? I do think, you know how misery loves company? Everybody knows this, right? I've told you guys this before. A good friend of mine who drank himself to death, it really annoyed me when I spoke to him. This is only a few months before he died. He was a bootneck as well. I think the local press tried to make it into a PTSD issue, but he didn't have PTSD. He was a shocking pisshead, basically, all of his life. He loved to drink. And he was telling me, like, you know, when with alcohols, when you're trying to get sorted out, other alcohols always try and talk you into going out on the piss. Because misery loves company. You know, like how on Train Spotting, they only put up very tepid resistance to getting the mate into it. Because when you're a fucking dickhead, you want company. This is, again, the Bootneck's version of what I'm sure is professional psychologist's advice. If you have a problem, whether it's gambling or drinking or drugs, you have to literally fucking move. Because if you're around losers with problems, they'll do anything to drag you back into it. Like, because misery loves company. It's an old adage, another one, you know, I love them. Misery loves company. It fucking does. They love it. So if you've got problems, you need to seriously just get the fuck out of there. If you're around pissheads and you love a drink, you're not going to be able to quit. Because they're just going to be going, come on, you can have 5 or 6 as long as you're careful. You can't. Right? And it's one of them things. I don't even, again, I talk so much bollocks, I forgot what my initial point was going to be about misery liking company, but that is definitely a fucking truism. Oh yeah, it's going to be about bald men. So, I'm referring to the numerous people in my channel that have said to me, oh, you should just shave your head, Matt, you're going a bit bald on top there. Listen, lads, just to draw a line under this one for good. Misery loves company. You think I'm daft and you lads aren't trying to talk me into it because you're a baldy bastard yourself and you've got a problem with it. I'm a married man. I've told my missus the second that my hair gets too thin, tell me and I'll Jason Statham the fucker. But until she gives me the signal, it ain't getting shaved, and I don't trust that some of you Duncan Goodhue motherfuckers who've got a complex about it aren't trying to talk me into it to make yourselves feel better. So please, can we stop with the baldness quips? I'll allow Mrs. Taylor to make the final judgment call on that. Needless to say, I don't take beauty advice from hairy blokes on the internet. Or in this case, not that hairy blokes. So yeah, let's draw a line under that. No more baldness quips. Yeah, it's getting a bit thin there. I'm fucking 40 now. 42 now. Not bad for 42, is it? Maybe I've got a bit of extra gas in the tank because on the rest of my body I'm like a fucking Wookiee. Like I said, what's my quip? My balls look like Chewbacca making a fist. It's just like I'm the most natural furry man ever. So maybe I've got a bit of gas in the tank. I don't know. Anyway, let's not talk about trifling things. I've got to get on. I've got stuff to do. There's lots of news being sent to me. Like I said, the more people join in, the more shit I get sent. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I want to quickly go through today. So let's get started, shall we? Everyone ready for some rage and hate? And it will get me raged today because some of this is fucking shocking. Shocking. Like, you will not believe your tiny eyes, let me tell you. First things first, this one. The hypocrisy in this story astounded me. It astounds me. Do you know your driving license is older than you? Hey, I don't think anyone in here is a spring chicken. The 19-year-olds like watching fucking TikTok, don't they? Sensible political discourse like this. Professional productions like the Angry Bootneck. We don't do that. The kids aren't down with professional political commentary like this. They're all watching twerking on TikTok. I'm going to take these out now. I think the leaf blower's gone. It's retreated. So, yeah, this fucking astounded me. Let me tell you, this one. You know, we always say they are what they accuse you of, right? Again, everybody knows this. It's another truism. It's so ubiquitous now. Everybody knows it's true. They are what they accuse you of. If they're saying something about the conservatives or the centrist middle of the road types, they're doing it themselves. It's the way they operate. And the BBC, which everybody in the fucking country knows is shockingly posh. Shockingly posh. The only person who works at the entire BBC that I've ever seen in front of a camera that is only quite posh, her family's from Nunthorpe, which is a nice part, one of the only nice parts of Middlesbrough. Sorry, the only nice part in Middlesbrough. So she's not rich, she's just relatively posh, right? Is Steph McGovern, who's from the borough. And her dad was my art teacher, Mr. McGovern, at Nunthorpe School in Middlesbrough. So that's the only working class person I've ever seen, or you could call working class, right? Working middle class, at the fucking BBC. The BBC is the poshest publicly funded organisation you'll ever fucking hear of in the world. There's no way in America, where we don't have a class society as bad, there's no way that PBS or any of their alternatives are uniformly staffed with posh bastards like the BBC. So the BBC, with the neck of 1,000 giraffes, dare to write a story about the employee class gap leaving workers behind. Fuck me. I mean, can you believe that? This is like Jeffrey Epstein writing a piece about the shocking paedophilia of the elites, right? Or it's like Weinstein saying the shocking horrors of blokes who ask birds for a gobble to get a TV part or a film role. It's just balls to the wall hypocrisy. Obviously, because it's the BBC. So let's have a quick blast through it. Yes, the BBC can kiss your ring-a-ding-ding. Exactly. Hence the name of my breakout show. Is it classed as breakout if about 300 fucking people watch it? Probably not. Anyway, although it's probably still better than some of the fucking shit the BBC make. On Netflix, who've now made a Colin Kaepernick TV show. Like, I shit you not. The bloke who's done nothing of note, he's got a TV fucking show. Make something about Muhammad Ali, for fuck's sake. So, it says, Luke, who's in his early 30s and lives in Northern Ireland, defines working class as not being able to miss 2 paychecks without everything falling apart. His mother pushed him to attend uni since she hadn't herself, and since graduating, Luke's had a patchwork career. After a paid internship with a health trust, he completed a short programme with an accounting firm. The year he spent there was uncomfortable. I didn't fit in. One of his colleagues said he was sending his shirts to be ironed, which Luke said was unimaginable luxury. Well, yeah, but Luke already sounds like he's perfect for the BBC, because he sounds like a bit of a knobhead. Like, yeah, okay, that's posh. Only posh people send out the shirts to be ironed. But it's not an unimaginable luxury. It's more like, hey, look at that posh cunt, he sends his shirts to get ironed, right? It's not unimaginable. It's just a bit posh. Other colleagues spent their lunch breaks browsing watches. It's a totally alien environment, he says now. He sounds like a middle-class arsehole. You can be from relatively poor means and still be a middle-class arsehole, because what happens is you get into the university and the only people you want to be friends with are middle-class arseholes. So Luke sounds like a bit of a twat. Like, who talks like that? Oh my God, imaginable luxury, a totally alien environment. It's not alien. Not really, Luke. You just sound like a bit of a sad bastard. However, I'll leave Luke alone. Despite the seemingly meritocratic aim of the training programme, Luke watched as well-connected workers got promoted over his experienced colleagues. It shattered the idea that hard work leads to success, and then he left. Then this is the amusing part when you get down into the statistics. People from poorer backgrounds are significantly represented in some sectors. Yes, BBC, tell us about the public fucking broadcasting sector, why don't you? In the UK civil service, only 18% of senior staff come from a low socioeconomic background. Yes, because it's Britain and we've got a class society lauded over by arseholes like you. Anti-shit lips. You do this to us. Class-based exclusion is pronounced in the country's creative fields, as I've talked about many times, right? 9 out of 10 fucking actors. The bastard great-granddad was a prime minister or a lord or a fucking baron. It says 23% of people who are working in music and the arts, for example, are working class. 23%. It is mad, isn't it? 23%. Like I said, you go through the actors, just reel them off. Almost none of them are normal people. It's like Tilda Swinton, posh as fuck. That wonky face fucker, can't even think of her. There's a few wonky face ones. Benedict Cumberbatch, posh. Well, you can tell by his name, for fuck's sake. Most of them. I think Tom Hardy might not be posh. Don't know. Most of the women. Helena Bonham Carter. Fuck off. So, that's the way it works. And the BBC's spewing out all these statistics, right? Like, in the UK civil service, there's the breakout quote. In the UK civil service, only 18% of senior staff come from a low socioeconomic background. And you know what I did? I seen this story and I thought, when I got to the very, like halfway through, but I thought at the very top, I thought there is no way the BBC are going to be so fucking necky that they're going to write this big long story about the employee class gap leaving workers behind. I did the old, you know when you press Control F and you type in BBC, if you press Control F on a Windows PC, whatever you type in, it does a search on the page for, right? I did that, and sure enough, actually you can't see because it's on the taskbar. I did that, and sure enough, yeah, there it is, look. Nothing. Because I assumed the BBC would at least have the self-awareness of a fucking something other than a goldfish in a hijab, and they would point out the fact that the BBC is absolutely guilty of this, probably to a worse percentage. It's not correct English, but they're guilty of it to a far greater extent than most companies, and certainly most publicly funded companies. You would assume if you lived in a country that wasn't fucking mental. So yeah, I thought, this is shocking. If you want to read the whole article, you can do, but trust me, it's not fucking worth it. It's 10 minutes of your life you'll never get back. It's just paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of the BBC taking the piss out of how low the numbers are for working class people at everything that isn't the BBC. But when I closed it in disgust, obviously my next stop is to try and find out what the BBC's numbers are. Because this is what I keep telling you guys, right? Again, it's so fucking obvious. They always love to pour scorn on working class people like me and thee when we're just talking. And they go, oh, no, your sauce. They love going on about sauces, don't they? Because they know they know they're wrong. You don't have to be an Oxford or a Cambridge fucking professional to be taken seriously if what you're saying is logical and reasonable, and in their heart of hearts, everybody knows it's true. Like I've told you guys loads of times, that's why they love it. The amount of twats who have a go at me on Twitter, and it's like, sauce, please. It's like, I can get you a good sauce quite easily. I always try and use the BBC or MSNBC or CNN or some lefty fucking dog shit. I can get you them all day long. But B, you know I'm right. You know I'm fucking right. I don't say it unless I know I'm right, because I'm a chippy northern bastard. If I'm not certain, I'll keep stum until I've done my homework and I've crunched the numbers. Like I've said many times, and you get lefty cunts in the chat every now and then. Oh, crunch the numbers. Yeah, I've crunched the numbers. I've done the reading. So, fuck you. They love to go sauce, thinking, because what they want to do is they want to boil it down. Like I said, like the communists love to do. They want you to question everything you've ever known, because it's part of the training. If you question everything, then you'll accept anything. This is why they do it. This is why nowadays, up is down and left is right. A man's a woman's a man, a kid's an adult's a child, a dwarf's a fucking giant. The morbidly obese are fucking skinny. Yeah? And you think I'm joking about all this stuff, but this is why it happens. Again, I don't like to get into the literature because I try not to present myself as one of those people who's academically minded, but that's, if you really get into the heart of the woke communist movement, it starts and ends with critical theory, this deconstructionalist worldview, and that's why they try and get you to question everything, and that's why they're obsessed with it. £500 underwear model. Oh yeah, that's logical. Yeah, fucking hell. Like, you want to take your fucking eyeballs out and just throw them away when you see these model. Victoria's Secret model. Female Victoria's Secret model who's 7'3", forearms like Popeye, and a fucking 10-inch clitoris. I don't want to see it. But it's all about getting you to accept anything. Because if they can make you question what you definitely know is true, they can make you accept anything. That's what it's all about. And that's why I get angry and I just say, fuck you. Because they want to try and boil it down to their shit meritocracy. Because ultimately, like I keep saying, again, chippy northern cunt that I am, but they want to ultimately be able to say, I went to university. They want to get to a position where people don't question anything. You just accept the bourgeois fucking arse wipes word for everything. Like the priest said, again, we all keep making the my words aren't coming out as good today. I think it's because I haven't been pissed for a few days. They keep trying to destroy the meritocracy. And everyone makes this point about the woke church, the church of woke, the woke priesthood. That's what they want. They're aping the Catholic Church. They want it to be like when they were the only ones who could read the Bible, right? That's why people had to die to get the Bible translated into English. Because the preachers didn't want normal people being able to read for themselves what the Bible said. So this is why they love it. And the woke want that now. Why they're all the professional elites. They want to be able to say things that are patently false, blatant fucking lies. You know what? I almost said blatant untruths there. Don't you really hate as well the way the political class never says the word lie? Like they deliberately obfuscate what they're saying. Like with the wokists again, how they just butcher the English language. Notice how none of them ever say lie. Ever. They blatantly fucking lie and they go, oh, I would never utter a mistruth. Boris Johnson's like, oh, that was possibly misleading. And Keir Starmer's like, yes, this wasn't correct. I may have possibly misled. You are a fucking lying cunt. You're a lying bastard. Just say, lying bastard. Sorry, chaps, I'm a lying twat. You can't believe my radio. I can't lie straight in bed. I'm a sack of shit with nostrils. Just tell us. Do you think we're thick? Do you think we're thick? When you go, oh yes, that's possibly a mistruth, you mean you're a lying twat. And this is what they do. They're purposely trying to kill the idea of common sense. You know what you know. If you're a normal person and you're streetwise, you know what you fucking know. And they want to get to this situation where they can just say, yes, but I'm the expert. I went to Oxford, I get to Cambridge, so I'm definitely right. Yeah, but you're not right because I know this fact, I know the statistics, I know the sky's blue, I know the grass is green. Yes, but I've got an expensive education, so I'm telling you the grass is actually fucking blue. And you're just supposed to go, okay, Mr. Expert. Fuck off. I know what I know. All you need is to have a fully functioning brain, be empathic, be consistent and be logical, and you can trust your fucking judgment. And that's what I keep saying. Trust the people. Same with Brexit. Same with everything. Trust the fucking people. And they can't bring themselves to do it. Because they don't want you to trust yourself. They want, we shall hand you the information because we went to Cambridge and you're a fucking peon. Rotten politics. There's another northern lad with a brusque accent. No. You don't speak like me. As if I'm on the radio. So you know nothing. 2 + 2. 2 + 2 is 8. No, it's actually fucking 4, mate. No, peasant. I went to Cambridge. I'll fucking tell you what 2 + 2 is, you cunt. Oh no, sort of spoiled it there with the profanities, but you get what I'm saying. So it's bollocks. Don't let these people ever talk down to you. They don't know what they're talking about. They lie like a fucking cheap naffy watch. And that was another 10-minute tirade that's sucking the time out of my stream, but this is what I was trying to get to. So it's a fucking epic, lengthy screed about how everybody else is leaving the workers behind. Everybody else, definitely not the BBC, just everybody else. In this entire lengthy piece, they don't mention the BBC once. Don't talk about the BBC's numbers. Don't talk about the BBC's percentages. Don't talk about how fucking insufferably posh the BBC is and how every single one of those self-trimming shitbags that works there has a fucking butler. So I did my own research and I found this. Dorries, I do remember it briefly. Nadine Dorries having a pop at the BBC. In the Belfast Telegraph, takes aim at the BBC over elitist and snobbish approach. And you get some figures, right? Come down a bit. Miss Dorries, who's from a working class background in Liverpool, became an author, and then she ends up in cabinet. That's how you have to do it if you're working class. You have to become famous for something else. Because the establishment will just wipe you fucking out. It's like YouTube. Not a meritocracy, is it? I mean, I'm not blowing smoke up my own arsehole, but it sort of takes a certain skill to be able to talk shit constantly in a room by yourself. And I'm probably better at it than 9 out of 10 people that do it on this platform. But if you're Owen Jones and you've got the right opinions, they'll fucking promote you everywhere. Even I see his shit, and I hate the bastard. I go on YouTube homepage, it's fucking all this lefty crap I don't even want to see. Because they haven't got enough right-wingers that can push. There's a few who they let slip through the net to give this illusion of promotion. But the likes of Rotten Politics or Paz, I find these people through other people's recommendations. They don't just pop up for me. No, they want me to see what fucking Afua Hirsch is talking about today. It's all part of the plan. So the only way you can do it, if you're like Ms. Dorries, is if you make a name for yourself before you even get into it. Because politics is fucking stitched up as well, isn't it? As Mark Twain said, if voting made a difference, they wouldn't let your bastard do it. So go through this, and they've got the statistics. It said, BBC's annual report shows more than 60% of staff went to state-run schools, with 11.5% fee-paying school. Well, that's the BBC's own figures. And the BBC are fucking lying. She's pointing out that basically, if you talk with an accent, it doesn't go down very well at the BBC. And they also said among 80%, and again, this is from their numbers, so it's going to be a lot worse than they're actually telling you. They'll massage the figures like a Thai woman massages a paying sailor. They'll be massaging the shit out of them. Don't know if they'll give them a happy ending at the end. Probably. And it says, among the 80% of staff who gave details of the background, so right off the bat we know that the 20% of staff who didn't give details of the background are probably sitting on a gold toilet as we speak, right? 48.3% had professional parents. 20% were working class. 20% working class at the BBC. That's probably about there. I'd say it's probably lower because it's the BBC's numbers. You can't trust the BBC. From knowing the BBC, again, and this is what I'm saying about trusting yourself, trusting your judgment. From knowing what you do about life, knowing a friend of a friend of a friend who works at the BBC, just knowing what you fucking know, the BBC is insufferably posh. At best, using their own figures, it's 20.2% working class and 8.8% who are probably actually from a poor background. But, I mean, 70, 80% of them are going to be posh fuckers. We know it. Because that's their numbers. So, absolute bollocks, right? I can't believe the BBC had the brass neck when we've just seen the actual figures, even though they've been massaged and we got them off the BBC. I can't believe they had the brass neck to write that fucking piece. That one. Unbelievable. So, fuck them. Yeah? There's a nice ending to my Equality Matters piece. Fuck the BBC and the horse they rode in on. What else have I got? Let me just have a drink and I'll do some more. I can't leave it at one today. I've been sent a few good ones. What we're getting wrong about the Great Resignation. What we're getting wrong. What we're getting wrong. Like as if you and I haven't been saying this for fucking 2 years. Those of you that have followed me that long pretty much got into this when I was raged to fuck about COVID. Right at the beginning. That was when I started spamming loads of videos about Peter Hitchens. I was like, whoa, he knows what he's talking about. Why aren't we listening to him? Those of you that watch this have been listening to me talk about it for over a year. We know what's coming as a result of these draconian, authoritarian, fucked-in-the-head measures to deal with the pandemic. And now they're going, what are we getting wrong about the Great Resignation? Where did this come from? It says more people are quitting their jobs and it could shake the world of work forever. But are we making incorrect generalizations about the Great Resignation? Yeah, well, look, this is the chickens coming home to roost. In the US, the Labour Department revealed 4.3 million Americans left their jobs in August 2021. Almost 3% of the national workforce, the highest number on record. In the UK, the number of open jobs surpassed 1 million. Well, what do we think? I think I talked about it fucking day before yesterday. What do we think could possibly be causing it? Tell us, Mr. Expert. Tell us, oh wise, knowledgeable one. We fucking know what's causing it. We know what's causing it. We already know. We knew what was going to cause it a year ago. Commies taking over the government. Pandering. Well, not real commies like Biden, the fucking... the slithering snake will believe in anything because he's a career fucking politician. Pandering to communists is what causes it. Some of the stories I've read recently beg a belief. And as we talked about many times on this channel, cleverer people than us set the tax brackets. Clever people. And they try and get it just perfect. So that it's just about where you're willing to push for that promotion. And when the lefties take over and just take, the line gets smashed to dust. And then the hard-working, working class people do what I've told you I feel like doing many, many times. Spit the dummy out and say, you know what? If we go 1% fucking more with these taxes, I will join my friends in the council estates of Middlesbrough, stick my thumb firmly up my shitbox and do absolutely fuck all. It's human nature. If you could pick one thing, again, aside from all the evidence and all the political theorising, you could pick one reason why communism always fails, it's because of human nature. It's why, I'm preaching to the converted now, you guys know my opinions. It's why those experiments when they did in schools, where instead of each kid getting a grade, they pile 30 kids into one group and say, what we're going to do is we're just going to have a class grade. And whatever the class average is, that's your grade. It's why when they do that, you go from a class average of A or a B to a class average of a fucking F. Because the hard-working swatty girl who does loads of graft gets pissed off with the fucking bone-idle, lazy chav, and they all stop working. They all stop working. How complicated is that? If it happens with 13-year-olds in school rooms, it's going to happen with everyone. And you fuckers, how many times do you have to make the same mistake? The working class will say, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. If I can sit on my fucking ass and you'll pay my rent, my council tax. I mean, the fucking council tax is outrageous now. You'll pay my rent and my council tax and my lecky bill and give me 40 quid a week. I'll be a bit skint. But I'm currently pulling my fucking pudding out and going to work 40 plus hours a week. And ultimately, in real terms, after I pay the outrageous rent, because you just don't fucking build enough houses and you're incompetent, and I pay the outrageous income tax and my national insurance and my fucking poll tax, I'm really not getting that much out of it. And every day you're getting up to go to the building site to carry the bricks in the rain, and you look across the road and your brand new Somalian neighbour is sitting on a deck chair drinking fucking special brew at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you think, you know what, commie? I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. Millions of people will fucking do it. Millions. And I'm seriously... I've told you I've been that close myself to God. I'm not fucking... I swear down. I'll cut off my nose to spite my face. Communist. I'll do it. You can push me about another percentage point, and no, fuck you. I'm going to drink rain, eat porridge, and cackle as the entire machine collapses around me. They don't get this. I do think, again, from discussing it with my missus and women in general, they're not quite as bad-tempered as men are. So you can push them a little bit more, but fucking millions of blokes will just go, fuck you, I'm not doing it anymore. And then the income tax dries up. And then the beginning of the fucking end. You need to always have a level of income tax where you constantly incentivise everybody to chase the promotion, to chase the extra. I'll do a bit of extra. I'll do 20% extra work this week because I'll get 19% extra money. Who's going to try if you have some twat like Chomper, the sheep-toothed communist, AOC, stealing from you whenever you make a buck? It's linked to what I talked about yesterday with Ash Sarkar about the landlords. Ooh, the landlords, everyone's a fucking criminal. Steal all the money off them. Why try and get a second house then? You're scrimping and saving. You think, oh, next year I might be able to buy a little bungalow that I could live in. I can rent this house out, yeah, if I just scrimp and save. And then Ash says, oh, the landlords are all scum. Let's just steal everything off them. And then you go, okay, thumb up arse, never work again. This is what you get, commies. This is what you usher in. And then what? All the people who make the food, stop going to work. All the people who sweep the streets, clean the sewers, keep the fucking taps running, keep the electricity flowing. See you later. It's all fucked. You can... John Hunter, communism, everyone's equal, yeah. You can do it in a sentence. There can never be equality because people don't work equally hard. That's it. There can never be equality because people do not work equally hard. It's a lot more complicated. Again, you can get into IQ and fucking everything. Even if you're taller and attractive, you make more money because we're a bit stupid. We're an irrational chimp and we do daft things. We like and trust handsome, attractive people. But ultimately, you can ignore all the other factors and just put it down to fucking effort. If you're lazy bastard, you'll never make as much or deserve as much, and you shouldn't have a house as nice as someone that isn't a lazy bastard. Again, I like to keep things simple. I'm not going to talk into height, weight, facial symmetry, IQ, conscientiousness. If you're a fucking lazy cunt, why should you have as much stuff as someone who pulls their pudding out 6 days a week? You fucking shouldn't. And most of us get it. Most of us in this chat aren't rich. But there's people out there like Bezos who work the tits off. Bezos was probably doing 70 hours a week for fucking 15 years. Good luck to him. Working class people aren't bitter, miserable, twisted, angry communists. So we don't despise rich people when we know they worked for it. And these fucking maniacs will see us all starve to death. So that story there, what we're getting wrong about the Great Resignation, yeah, we already know the answer. Again, I don't need to go through this fucking drivel. Oh, listen to me, I've got statistics. We know. Thick twat. We know. You are as thick as a rice pudding. We know. We know. So, fuck it, let's get rid of this. I can link to my next story. Segueing perfectly. Hey, it's going well today. I can segue into my next story perfectly. Because it's another great one. Yet another reason why the commies motivate working class people to wrap their fucking tits in and live in a tent. Are you ready? Thanks to whoever sent me this one. I've just seen it mentioned in the chat. Biden administration debates paying hundreds of millions to families separated at the border. So, let's have a read, shall we? And just for you, again, you guys know I will not be talked down to by a left-wing cunt who simply claims, oh yes, but what about your source? So I always verify with more than one. It's on MSNBC News. Left-wing, yeah? Full-blown propaganda during the Trump campaign. Here's your source. Let's use them instead of Fox, although I do like using Fox because it makes lefties cream the kegs. News. Biden admin may pay millions to migrant families separated at the border under Trump. Thousands of migrant parents and children separated by Trump administration policies may soon be eligible for hundreds of thousands of dollars per person in compensation, according to 3 sources. Right? The Wall Street Journal first reported, I read it on the Wall Street Journal as well, Biden admin is in talks to offer separated migrant parents and children $450,000 per person. That means if a parent and a child get separated at the border, they'll be eligible for a combined payment of, rub your eyes, $900,000. If you're a criminal breaking the law and knowing you're breaking the law, after being told not to come by the serving US president and the last one, because Obama, the deporter-in-chief, was quite fucking strict with it, if you chose to break the law on purpose, you may get $900,000 in compensation, which is more fucking money than the average American trucker, plumber, grocery store clerk makes in 30 fucking years. Do you see where I'm coming from here? Stoking that bitterness and resentment and hate and spite, which is what commies are so good at. Do you think a hard-working truck driver who's been pulling his pudding out for 30 years is going to get up today when we're in the middle of a logistical nightmare where there's fucking empty shelves, even here in California, which proves the lie about it being anything to do with Brexit? There's empty shelves because there's not enough truck drivers. Do you think a truck driver's going to read that today and go, I can't wait to get back to work, lads. I can't wait to start paying my taxes again. Ooh, yeah, I fucking love writing the IRS a check every year. Fucking do one. Do one. I'm amazed anyone's still at fucking work. I'm amazed. I mean, again, kids is how they get you. If you've got kids, that's how they get you, because you feel like you have to keep providing for them, so they will squeeze you fucking dry. They will take and take and take and take until you have got nothing left. In the gulag with you, comrades. And again, you don't need to read the Gulag Archipelago. You don't need to be a political theorist. You just need to know humanity. Why do you think when you follow communist policies like these dippy twats, why do you think you have to have a gulag? Why? Because all those people that I've just talked about, they won't go to work anymore. And all of a sudden, fuck, there's no food. There's no clothes. Someone stitches clothes. As I told Ash Sarkar yesterday, someone builds houses. And if you start doing this, and you start doing this, and you start doing this, and you start doing this, well, no one's building houses, no one's plumbing, no one's cleaning sewers, no one's sweeping streets, no one's sewing fucking clothes, no one's driving trucks. You stupid pack of twats. There you go. There's a nice, eloquent explanation without any difficult political theorising. It doesn't work, and it'll never work, and it beggars nations. Rotten Politics, is the Gulag Archipelago a hard read? No, it's not at all. Because he's English is clearly not his first language. Actually, it reads really easily because some of the sentences are almost childlike. It's clearly not. It's not really eloquent English because it's not his first language and it's been translated from Russian. So it's not a hard read at all, and it's so fucking terrifying. You can't put it down. I really enjoyed it. I was like, oh, the shit that they did. You read about them, like I said, linked to all this stuff, what I'm saying about disenfranchising the workers so nobody works. There's stories in there of like a 14-year-old girl gets caught doing graffiti and they need workers. So they started hoovering them up. Oh my God, you did some graffiti. 15 years in the Gulag. 15 years. Because they need the workers. The nation's collapsing. The infrastructure's collapsing. The farming's collapsed. Nothing works because no one wants to work. So you have to start locking people up for nothing. That's what they do. Parking ticket, 15 years. Because they need you to work. And this is what always happens. And you read about this, these fucking idiots taking all your hard-earned tax monies and throwing it at criminal scum, and the working classes go, well, fuck it, I'm not doing it. Cross their arms, I'm not fucking doing it. And then the four, and then it's build the fucking house. Plumber. Out come the bayonets. Clean the windows, window cleaner, or you get your fucking head lopped off. That's what happens. And so the lesson endeth for the day. Don't be a communist. Yeah? If you can take two things away from the Angry Bootneck for life advice, it's these. Don't be a communist and don't smoke crack. The reference, it's Waterboy, I think, right? Don't smoke crack. Don't do it. It's very bad. It's almost as bad as being a shit-for-brains communist with teeth like a witch doctor's necklace, like AOC. Don't do it. Right. Thanks for listening. That's 47 minutes. You don't pay me enough for 47 minutes. I'm not a communist. Right, I'll be back tomorrow. All right? You want to read Brian Moynihan's History of the Red Army? I'll start on that one. There you go. Thanks for listening, everybody. IV7, welcome. Newcomers, we don't get them round here anymore. Because of my nemesis, Suza, we very rarely see them. So, welcome. Welcome. I've been shadow banned so much now. I'm like a distrusting hillbilly in the foothills of Alabama. A newcomer. We don't trust newcomers around these parts. Right, I'm done. See you all tomorrow. Cheers.